Hey guys, so this video is really just going to be about mastering icebreakers and first conversations with potential clients and customers. More so, more so clients. Um, for me, it boils down to really three big things. In my experiences, like I've always put myself in situations where I kind of had to be extroverted, if you will. So the first thing that I am mindful of is my intention. I'm always thinking about, and I'm also a thinker, so there's that. But I'm always thinking about what is my intention with this conversation. Like, what do I want? What do I want to happen at the end of it? What do I want this person to do? Do I want this person to come into the club? Do I want this person to follow me on social media? Do I want this person to, I don't know, just go out with me? You know, things like that. But always be mindful of your intention of what you want to do and how you want to move in that conversation. Because one of the things that we have to learn, and I know it's much easier said than done, but first time conversations are awkward. Like the sooner you accept that, the easier they are. Because what happens is a lot of times, and I hate using this reference, but people are kind of like children, in a sense that like if you are fearful, or if you move with a little timid spirit about you, like people kind of react to that. So for me, there was this concept I learned while in college as an RA. We called it reverse friendship. So the intention behind reverse friendship was like, I don't even know your name, but I'm going to act like we've been best friends for the past 15 years. And in my experiences, I've learned that type of approach typically makes other people, like the people that you are approaching, it makes them feel at ease. Um, and yes, I'm outside, so that's probably what you heard. But it makes people feel at ease. And once you have people drop their defenses with their, who they are and allowing you into their energy, into their space, you are more likely to be successful to accomplish your intention. Right. So, for instance, if I see people walking and they're walking right past the club and I see them drinking coffee, just for example, yesterday, there were a couple of women just walked on by, and I'm like, hey, so I approached them. For me, it's I battle a lot of things. Being a big black guy approaching people, uh, you have to be very mindful of that. But I'm super mindful of that, and I've already accepted the fact that this is going to be really awkward. So I can let the awkwardness determine how this conversation goes, or I can say, you know what, it's awkward, but I'm gonna make it fun. And a lot of times when you take on that second approach, that's when people are just like, I'm like, okay, cool, because a lot of times they just don't know what you're about to give them. So if you're giving it to them gratefully and freefully, if that's a word, it's a word now. But like if you're giving it to them in that kind of spirit, they're more likely to take it. The second thing that I think that I've learned and accepted that makes my first time conversations super super awesome, it's just being authentic. I think a lot of times when we, at least for first time distributors, when we're going in and we're flying and we're just talking to people, we kind of turn into these people that aren't necessarily authentic. Uh, and from my experiences as a teacher, people respond to that as well. Like, if you're awkward, you're awkward. If you're a nerd, own that stuff. But like, it gives you an opportunity to relate to people. And when we're not being authentic, and living in our authentic selves and identities, it makes it really difficult for us to build genuine relationships with people. And a lot of times, since we're business owners and we have to, adopt that mindset, like this is my business, and not necessarily being aggressive, but being open and inviting and letting those people know, like, hey, this is who I am. I like dogs. I like anime. On weekends, I like to pick peaches. Like, just letting them know, because all of these things of showing them who you are will better help, one, your intention, and better help you with your vision. Like, what do you want to do at the end of this conversation? What do you want to happen? And then the third thing for me, which is where I'm at now, I've accepted and I've acknowledged it. But now it's just being committed to those, first time conversations. So what I'm doing now, although I'm having conversations with people that I kind of sort of know, I'm making it a point and I'm committing to myself to go deeper with those conversations. Use where talk. Like, I've talked to like 8 people today. Granted, I've only seen a total of 12, but I've talked to those people about my products. Like, I talked to them about the lotion because they're like, "Oh my gosh, you smell freaking amazing." The lotion, but it's just one of those things, like, to always have products nearby, to always use where talk, because like now that I'm really plugging into the business, and just like all of the resources and tools available to us, it works. It duplicates for a reason. But again, it's just one of those things that it's super easy to have like your first conversation with people, and then like not have one for a while, or to maybe have a conversation with someone and then do a follow-up with them. In the beginning, that was hard for me, because my thing is, like, I don't like to feel like I'm bothering people, but that's a mindset that I have to get out of and I have to adjust, because one of the things is like that follow-up conversation that could happen, that can be the very thing that really helps support the person you're talking to, really persuade them into maybe buying product, or maybe doing the challenge, or maybe, becoming a distributor. And it's that supporting aspect that a lot of times, I know, at least for me, that I often forget, because I don't want to feel like I'm bothering people, because I don't know what their schedule is. They may be doing something. Well, that's why they invented text messages. That's why they invented voicemail. Like, let them call you back. Let them respond to your text message later. But like, just committing to those first time conversations. Like, if you see someone, I mean, for me, like, I'm getting in the process of talking about my products and about talking about my services, talking about things that are coming up in the community. But like, just get into the process, because I promise you, like, just having just having first time conversations, like, "Oh my gosh, what's your dog's name?" "Oh, my dog's name was Susie." Like those types of conversations makes you super comfortable, because now I'm kind of at this point where I never met a stranger, but now I'm forcing myself, or I'm committing myself to talking about my business. I'm talking about my products. I'm talking about my services. I'm talking about expanding. I'm talking about growing, both personally, professionally, even academically as well. But it's one of those things, like, you have to constantly put yourself in that state of like, let's just have a conversation. Like I said, on the weekends, I like to do A, B, and C. The person you're talking to may like to do the very same thing. Now you've built a relationship because you've committed to your intention and you've been authentic in that conversation. And now you're probably about to get the outcome that you want, because you've now established the foundation of building a relationship with this person. And so, basically, that's what I have. My liftoff is wearing off, but I'll probably take another before I go to bed tonight. Got some things to do, but I'm definitely super excited about doing these series of videos, if you will. One of the things that I do suggest, and I'll post the links, probably a little later tonight or tomorrow morning for sure, links to like different, I call them like strength inventory lists, just so like what your strengths are, because a lot of times that helps in those conversations. Like for me, I know I'm an overthinker. So what I like to do before I have first conversations with people, think through all these situations, but don't get to the point where you overthink or think yourself out of that opportunity of talking to them, because sometimes you just have to jump in the conversation, like, be committed to your intention, know what your intentions are, have a clear vision, not only for what you want out of your experience with Herbalife, out of life, but what do you envision that conversation looking like? Because a lot of times, if you're starting the conversation, more than likely you can control the conversation, unless they just say, "You know what, don't talk to me." But if they're engaged in the conversation, you can kind of guide it where it goes, because they're following you. You're the leader in that conversation, and so you just have to really take charge. Know what your strengths are, because a lot of times I found that people who enter communication situations don't necessarily know what they bring to the table. Um, and it's not like, for instance, if you love flowers, we'll just go with that. If you love flowers, you don't need to jump in. Hi, my favorite, like build up to that. Maybe that person doesn't like flowers. Maybe that person doesn't necessarily have a relationship or an investment in what you're bringing up. But just be genuine, be authentic. Like let the conversation flow, but make sure that you're kind of guiding it by asking suggestive questions, asking the questions to answers that you do want. Um, for me, like that's been a challenge, but I've been planting seeds, and now it's time to reap what I've been sowing. Uh, I think that works, but it's going to work tonight. But definitely, I want to add links to just understanding your strengths and what you bring to the table into the conversation, because I think a lot of times, me for sure. I don't necessarily carry the confidence that I need most times. So when it comes to like talking about my business, and that's something too. Like practice at home, practice telling yourself, practice what we call in communication positive self-efficacy, but positive self-talk. Like speak life into yourself. If you're a business owner, or even if you want to be, you're a business owner. In your future, you're a business owner. Right now, you're a business owner. So just start saying, hey, I'm a business owner. Literally, I've told myself that 100 times today. And then like once you say that, you reinforce it, you hear it, now it's going back into your brain. And so it's one of those things that you just really have to know what your intentions are, be authentic, and really, really commit, because that last part, in my experience, has been the most difficult part, but like the most rewarding part, because once you commit to it, it transforms how you think. It really, really does. Like you can't allow yourself to be in the same headspace once you've seen your intentions, you know what they are very vividly. You're super authentic about who you are, but not inappropriately. Sometimes we do have to adjust, but that shouldn't subtract from us being authentic. We still should be our authentic selves in anything that we do in life, because that's when we give our best. And then to really commit to it. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free. We're in this group together. Shoot anybody a question. I'm sure someone will answer it. That's what I'm doing. I'm charging myself to really get plugged in with you guys, because I'm a business owner. Hillcrest Nutritionist opening. Booyah. So I'm super excited about that. And I definitely want everyone else to be excited about, all aspects of learning in this business, because like, this is for me, this is the gold part. Like I'm a faker, I'm a learner. Like I want to do this. Like, let me learn. And so now I'm super committed to it, and I love it. Like just taking chances, talking about things, even if you don't know the answer, shoot, PJ can answer his phone. Amelia answers her phone. They're great about answering questions. But let's really start utilizing all of the resources available to us so that we can really have those effective and impactful conversations with people. All right. Thanks. And I will see you guys later. Deuce.